happiness. It's what we all strive for, right? How many times have we said, I just want to be happy, or I'll be happy when? Happiness seems to be the ultimate goal, but happiness is temporary. Happiness comes and goes because it's very dependent on the circumstances. What if there was something that was better than happiness? What if there was something longer lasting? And there is, and it's called joy. In this video, we're going to untangle the difference between happiness and joy. We're going to dive into some wisdom from philosophers, from spiritual teachers, and look at the research from psychologists to help us learn about this thing called joy. And by the end, you'll have some tips for how to cultivate joy, even in the midst of the hard times. Hi, I'm Dr. Lori Barker, and I'm a therapist, educator, and consultant, and I love giving people tips for how to improve their mental health and start living their best lives. So what is the difference between happiness and joy? One way to think about it is that happiness is like the weather. So from day to day, the weather could be sunny, sometimes even hour to hour. It can be rainy, it can be cold, it can be cloudy, but climate is that deeper pattern. Right? Climate tends to stay more steady over time. So when you think about happiness, like the weather, it can change. Whereas joy is that longer lasting, deeper pattern that's there in the background. When life is hard, when plans fall apart, when grief comes, when loss comes, happiness can fade. And we can be left wondering, well, what's wrong with me that I can't just be happy all the time? But that's the nature of happiness. It comes and goes. You cannot sustain being happy all the time. In short, happiness is what you feel when things go right. Joy is what you feel when you are right with yourself and right with the world. Philosophers and spiritual teachers have been talking about this difference between happiness and joy literally for centuries. For example, Aristotle talked about true fulfillment as eudaimonia. In other words, he said that fulfillment comes from living a life based on virtue and purpose. And the Stoics believed, they talked about joy as an inner steadiness, where the focus should be on the things we can control instead of the things that we can't. Every major spiritual tradition has also talked about the concept of joy. In Buddhism, they talk about joy as the happiness that we feel for others' happiness, meaning that true joy comes from having compassion and care and concern for others. The Dalai Lama links joy to compassion. If you serve others as fully as you can, what you do will be a source of inner joy. Thich Nhat Hanh is the Buddhist monk who is also the founder of mindfulness, and he talked about joy as mindful contact with reality. He said, every breath we take, every step we make can be filled with peace, joy, serenity. We need to only be awake, alive in the present moment. In Christianity, joy is seen as a gift of the Holy Spirit. It's a deep gladness that remains even in the face of pain because it's rooted in love, not circumstance. So here's a quote from the Christian Bible. It says, "You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy." And that comes from Psalm 16:11. In Islam, joy arises from gratitude and remembrance. It's the peace that comes from knowing we're a part of something greater than ourselves. In Judaism, joy is considered a sacred duty. It's an act of faith to celebrate life even when it's hard. And in many earth-based and indigenous traditions, joy comes from that natural rhythm of harmony. It's that sense of belonging and connection to the land, to community, and to the circle of life itself. And even in secular and humanistic traditions outside of traditional religion, joy is discussed as that full awareness of being alive. It's that sacred sense of being here and aware in the present moment. So different languages, different belief systems, different rituals, but they all seem to agree across cultures, across centuries, that joy is something that grows out of presence, gratitude, compassion, purpose, and genuineness. So philosophers and spiritual teachers aren't the only ones who've talked about joy. Psychologists and other social scientists have also studied joy. So let's talk about some of the research related to joy versus happiness. For example, researcher Brené Brown spent years interviewing thousands of people about topics like love, vulnerability, meaning, and what she found was kind of surprising, that the people who described themselves or described their lives as the most joyful weren't necessarily the happiest or the luckiest, but they were the most grateful. And they didn't wait to feel grateful because life was joyful. These were people who were joyful because they practiced gratitude. These were the people who were able to be thankful even about the small things, whether it was a child's laugh or a good meal or a conversation with a friend. These were the people who were able to create joy from their gratitude. Another researcher, Roy Baumeister, was interested in looking at the difference between a happy life and a meaningful life. And what he found was that a happy life was connected to comfort and having your needs met, but a meaningful life was related to connection, to contribution, and to purpose. That people who focused on meaning, even when life got stressful, described a deeper sense of fulfillment and long-term well-being. And then there's a beautiful study by Iris Mouse and her colleagues out of UC Berkeley, where they looked at people who tried really hard to be happy, meaning these were people who chased positive emotions and avoided discomfort. But in the end, these people were actually lonelier and less satisfied. But those who allowed emotions to arise naturally through mindfulness, connection, and compassion reported a longer lasting sense of joy. So what did we learn from the research? That joy is found through things like gratitude, compassion, connection, meaning, and purpose. So how can we do this? How can we stop chasing happiness and find joy? We can take all of these lessons that we learned from philosophers, spiritual traditions, and from research and put them all together with a few simple ways, simple practices that we can do to cultivate joy. Number one is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is defined as being fully aware in the present moment with curiosity and without judgment. And we can practice mindfulness in all kinds of ways. It simply means slowing down, becoming more aware of our surroundings, tuning in more to what's happening inside of ourselves with our bodies, our thoughts, our feelings. It means appreciating the small things like taking a sip of tea or going for a walk. And if you want to know more about how to practice mindfulness, be sure to visit my channel. Number two, the second way to start cultivating joy is to practice gratitude, not comparison. Have you ever heard that saying that comparison is the thief of joy? And we don't have to wait for Thanksgiving to be grateful. We can learn to be grateful every day in the small things. So one way you can do this is to every day write down one thing that you're grateful for. And practice this. Try it even just for a week and see what that does to how you feel and to your attitude. Because practicing gratitude opens up space for joy. Tip number three for cultivating joy is to live in alignment with your values. So take some time to think about your values. Your values are your deepest, most cherished beliefs that guide your life or guide your decision making. So think about what's most important to you. And are you living out those principles, right? What principles are most important to you? Are you living those out in your daily life? One way you can check this out is to do a value survey. You can just Google that online and look for, values clarification survey or questionnaire, and you can just pick one and do it. And it helps you realize what things are most important to you. Is it family? Is it spirituality? Is it independence? Is it taking care of the environment? Whatever it is, take a moment to clarify your values and then choose one way each week to live in alignment with your values. Think of something that you can do to make sure that you are practicing those principles that are most important to you. The fourth method is to serve others. This means making a contribution. So think about something that you can do to show compassion, to show kindness and show care. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It could be something small, like smiling at somebody, holding the door, saying good morning, or maybe it is something bigger. Maybe you want to volunteer your time with an organization, or maybe you want to donate, if it's donating material things like clothing or food, or if it's a monetary donation. Just taking the time to make a contribution, to get outside of yourself and do something for someone else is a way to spread and cultivate joy. And the fifth method for cultivating joy is to allow both. What does that mean? That means allowing both the positive and the negative. The research showed when we chase happiness, it actually has the opposite effect. It actually ends up making us feel worse. So if we just allow our emotions to come naturally, to emerge organically, and we embrace all of them, both the easier ones and the more challenging ones, like pain, suffering, fatigue, sadness, that when we allow those things to come and we feel all of it, the full spectrum of human emotions, that's a way to cultivate joy. Because remember, joy can exist alongside those things. They're not mutually exclusive. That we can have joy, and that joy might be there in the midst, in the center of all of those things. So notice how simple it is to start cultivating joy in your life today. So make a commitment to go today and try one of the things that we just described. And if you know someone else who could use a little more joy in their life, be sure to share this video with them. And comment down below. Let me know some of the things that you're trying and how it's going. And if you'd like a guided meditation on joy, be sure to visit my channel and check that out, as well as other videos that give tips on how to improve your mental health. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.